I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly. Welcome to my YouTube videos where I'll be sharing free video tutorials and interesting wire wrapping techniques. So hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below if there's any techniques you would like me to cover. And thanks everybody, I'll see you there. Hi, I'm Kelly from Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this simple bead ring. As I say, it's made using just a little bead. I've put a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make this, along with all my usual links. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Etsy. To make this ring you'll need 21 gauge square wire, or you can use round wire if you prefer, that's 0.8mm. I've cut two lengths at 10 inches, which is 26 centimetres. I've got some half round wire, that's 21 gauge again. You can use weaving wire if you don't have the half round wire. I've cut one length at 16 inches and two at 6 inches. You'll need a bead, mine is 7mm, so anything about that kind of size. And that's it, I think. If you want to use weaving wire instead of the half round, I usually use the 0.315mm, which is 28 gauge. You can use the thicker gauge if you want to. I prefer the thinner gauges because I just find it easier to weave. So tools, I've got my pliers, cutters, round nose pliers, nylon pliers. These are optional, you don't have to have nylon pliers. I just like having these handy for straightening wires, flattening weaves, you know, things like that, compressing weaves. But these are really good when you're using the square and half round wire, just for keeping the wire how you want it, keeping it nice and flat. You'll also need a mandrel. This is a ring mandrel, or anything sort of the size that you want, just to shape the ring band around. To work out the length of the weave, you can just keep wrapping it around and then adding more weave if you want to, or you can work out how much weave you're going to need first. If mine is saying, I think it was saying 6 centimetres earlier, I just looked, hard to show you with the, so we're about 6. So because we've got to fit the bead on there as well, I should probably need about 5. So I'm going to do 5 centimetres of weave of wraps. So then you take that 5 centimetres and you position it centrally on your wires, because I'm just trying to work out where to start, but it depends on the size of your ring. So if I'm going to do 5 centimetres, then I need to position that centrally on my wires, and then that's where I'll be starting. Does that make sense? So if I want to do a size 7, was it? I'll be starting about 4 inches from the beginning of the wires. So then take your half round wire, and we're going to be wrapping around and around those 2 wires for the length of wraps that you need. If you're using weaving wire, then you can just do your favourite weave around the 2 wires for the length that you've already worked out. So I've done 5 centimetres, and that uses up the full length of the wire. So if you want to make a larger one, you'll need to start with a longer piece of wire. I just like to flatten these down. You can see how they look nice. They look kind of a bit bobbly before, and then where I squeeze them they go nice and tidy. So I just like to squeeze that nice and flat and keep pushing it together to keep it nice. And we'll cut these so they finish at the back. It's stuck up my sleeve. So we want both of them to finish on the same side, and then just press those down flat. So now we need to shape the band around the mandrel. So if you've cut your ends, that's because you've already worked out what you're doing. What you can do is bend it around and then add more weaves if you need to get the size right. I've wrapped around mine, and as you can see, I've got this gap at the middle, and that is for the bead. So we need a gap between the weaves to fit the bead on. So we're going to open these wires slightly just to get them out, to get this one out the way so we can add the bead. And I'm going to bend these wires up a little, and I'm going to add the bead to this wire here. I did do a ring tutorial with a small stone. It's very old. I'm probably due to do another one. So I'm going to bend these wires up a little bit more. So we really do need to keep checking on the size, to keep the size right, because I made one earlier and it was too small, and then I made another one and it went too big. So we do need to keep checking the sizes as we go. So we're going to bring the wire across, and then this wire is going to go around the whole thing. So we're wrapping around those two wires at the top there. So I think to get the size I want, they need to be quite close. So I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter. And then to keep that size, I'm going to take the top wire and I'm going to pull it this way so it holds that size. So check that it still fits on the size that you want it to. Gracie's snoring already. So now I know that's the size I want. I can bend that over again. So next I'm going to take this top wire here and holding the rest of the ring the best you can, I'm going to bring this around. And I'm going to bring it round quite tight so it loops over the top wires there. Pushing it down a little. And then I'm going to scoop it around to this side here. So where it comes to here, I'm going to hold it in place. And I'm going to take it over and around the band. I think it's still important to keep checking the size against the mandrel, because like I say, the one I just made ended up way too small. So I'm going to keep checking it against the mandrel as I go. So next I'm going to take this bottom wire here and I'm going to put twists into it. So grip the end with your pliers. You're going to put a little bit of tension on that. So I'm going to pull on it a little bit. I'm going to twist. And just keep twisting. I'm putting a little tension to keep the wire straight and to keep the twists even. We just keep twisting, twisting. So I kept twisting that for about another 20 seconds. And then I'm going to take this bottom wire and I'm going to bring it over the bead. So I'm going to scoop down and I'm going to keep twisting it around to confuse you. So I'm going to bring it over the bead. I'm just trying to find the easiest way to do it so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm scooping it over the bead. And around. And then I'm going to shape it down. Bring it over to the other side. I'm just going to twist that. I'm not going to twist it, I'm going to flatten it a bit so it sits flatter against the bead. So I'm just pressing the wires together a little bit so it's closer to the bead, and then this wire comes up and it sits next to that wire on that side. this wire on this side now. So I'm going to hold that top part in place where I want it to be. Bring this around the band just a little bit tighter. And then I'm going to bring this wire to follow this one. And before I do, I'm going to wrap it in coils. So I'm going to take the 6-inch length of the half round wire that I cut earlier, that I forgot to cut, that I added. And if you've got weaving wire, if you prefer weaving wire, just add coils with weaving wire. And we're just going to wrap around that wire, just around and around that wire, as we did before with the band. And we need to add enough coils for it to reach along to the other side. So you can add some, we'll slide it down and we can add some more in a little while. So I've added more coils and then I've slid the coils down to the bottom of the wire there. And Gracie's snoring her head off, and I'm going to cut that wire. She is really snoring today. So this wire is going to follow this wire. So I'm going to need to add more coils, I think. Yeah, I need to add coils so that when they reach across the band, the coils need to reach to that side of the band. So I've added more coils, and now my coils end at the top of the band. I'm now going to take those coils, that half round, and I'm going to go around the 2 wires together a couple of times, and then I'll finish with a few wraps just on that bottom wire. So I've done that joint, only just add enough wire. I'll cut that off so it finishes at the back. And flatten that down with pliers. So those 2 wires are going to come up there. The coiled wire is going to go over and around the band. I need to make sure that's the right shape first. My coils, actually, now I've pulled it to there, my coils go way past the band. I wanted them to finish there at the top, so I'm going to undo a few and bring this join further down, because these coils need to finish at the top of the band. So I've adjusted that, and now I want this weave to come to here, and that wire goes around the band. And this wire scoops around this way. So looking at the wires now, this one here, that's the one that came along and held onto those other side, onto the wires on the other side. So that's my bead wire. So that really needs to be cut off and secured. We don't need that to move. So I'm going to cut that short, and then bend it over the back. So I'm going to cut this wire off. I'm going to bend it around the band, and I've got to get it so it holds it nice and securely on there. And I'd like it to go. I'm going to bend it so it goes around, and then I can press it behind there and squeeze it in place around there. So next I'm going to finish off this wire, and I'm just going to bend it up at the front there, squeeze it around the band, and I'm going to cut it off so it finishes to the front. If we finish it to the front, then at least it's not going to catch on your fingers at the back. And then this wire can try and come over that. Whoops, I'm not showing you, am I? Over that on the front there. So I'm just going to cut and curl that front wire. So we've got this one last wire now here, and I'm going to, that's crazy making all the noise, and I'm going to add coils to this one. So take the last piece of half round or the weaving wire if that's what you're using, and we're going to add coils to this last wire. If you want to, you can do anything you want with these wires. My designs are just like an idea, hopefully like a basis that you can take and then shape your own, take all the wires your own way. A lot of the time the wires don't want to do what I'm saying and they want to go a different way, so just follow the wires. So I'm sure I've coiled too many there. So we'll cut the bottom wire off before I slide it down, and then it'll be easier to press in place. Slide it down. And then this wire is going to go over that wire. Just going to pull it forward a little bit so we have that shape. So the coils need to come to the end of the band there, which is perfect. So I'll cut that off so it finishes behind. Flatten it down. And then that is going to go around the band. So try and hold it in place, and all the time try not to misshape the band. If you find your band's a bit weak, you can always use a slightly thicker wire if you want to. I just love this 21 gauge square, and I've been using it for everything at the moment. You got that nice shape. So I thought I'd have a go at doing a ring with a bead, because it just gives you so much more options, and I've got so many beads. I think I'll put a little curl on this side as well. So we pull the wire around, and I'm going to do a curl, but I want to make sure that that wire is really held in place. So I'm gently squeezing because I don't want to mark it. And then I'm going to just put a little curl in there. Like I say, you can finish these wires off however you like. You can do whatever you want with it. Make it your own. Put a little curl there. And hopefully it still fits on the same band size. So I'll oxidise this and I'll show you what it's like. And there we have it, finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like to oxidise yours, I did a video on oxidising and aftercare. I think it turned out really nice. And it's a nice simple one that you can make quite quickly using the bead. So thanks for watching another one of my videos. Please subscribe and hit the notification icon if you want to be notified of new videos that I do. Please like and comment on this video and let me know what you thought. If you want to see my written tutorials, they're over on Etsy. You'll find the link below. There might even be a link on the screen. And I will see you all in the next video. This is Gracie, if you didn't know. See you in the next one. Bye.